A good measurement and a good layout, with accuracy, are going to be a guarantee of the projects that you launch. There are many tools to carry out this work, but today we are going to focus on two of them, the main ones, the tape measure and the tri-square or triangle. We go to the woodworking bench and see how we work with the measuring tape. We have all observed that the measuring tapes, at the end of the tape, have a tab, and that this tab has a bit of play in it. This looseness is equivalent to the calibrated thickness of the tab itself, so that we can take measures, interior and exterior, and that the same measure is always respected. We are going to see it on this model so you can see it very simply. When we put the measuring tape on the edge of the board, we stretch the tape leaving the tab here, on the edge, so that the tape does not move. We are going to make a mark at number 20, so you can see how it matches. When we are inside, the tab is placed against this board, collecting the tape, and starting from scratch. We are going to make a mark here too, at 20, so you can see how they match perfectly. We put the tri-square and draw that line. The looseness has not fallen on any of the marks, so they are exactly the same. Let's see what happens by measuring on a flat board. It is very important that the tab, the looseness, do not try to break it to remove it. Let's put it like this. When we are going to make a measurement diagonally, on a board, when placing the tab, here it is distorting approximately 4 mm from the edge of the line, with which the measurement will be totally wrong. If we put it here, it's not a very exact measurement either. What are we going to do? I recommend that you put the measuring tape on the number 10. And you can now make your measurement, your mark, at the point you want. You have to take into account that you are adding 10 centimeters. They will have to be subtracted from the length of the line. When we make measurements in the center of a board, we will observe another problem. We are going to stretch the tape a little more. If we put the tab on the starting point, this variation can also give errors. I advise you again, place the tape on the number 10 and make the mark where the point needs it. The only thing you have to do is keep in mind that you have added 10 centimeters, you will always have to subtract them to the measurement you have between points. Measurement is not always so easy measuring on a board. There are occasions when measuring, we have to do it like here, inside a closet or a cabinet. Whenever you can, it is best to take the measurement on the edge and then pass it inside, but there will be occasions when the furniture has some molding, or, as in this case, because the wall is crooked. We always have to measure at the bottom of the cabinet. There are several ways to do it. If we measure like this, folding over the measuring tape, it will give us errors in the measurement. It is fine when we have to take a rough measure, for example, to present a project, but never to make a cut and be effective. What I propose to you is very simple. Take the measuring tape, trace a line from the tab placed in this corner, and measure 30. And now start measuring from the other side. These 29.5 are added to the 30 we have previously measured, and it will give us the total measurement of the interior of the closet. Let's see another way to measure. It is a very old trick. In all workshops we have templates of this type. It is a wooden block that we have cut 10 centimeters wide by 10 long. This block is placed inside one of the corners. With the measuring tape we stretch the tape from the other corner and stop it. We have a measure of 49.5. We would only have to add the 10 to obtain the total measurement of the interior. To facilitate all this, there is a measuring tape that it will be very helpful, and I recommend you having one. It is this meter measuring tape. It is a digital electronic tape measure. It is called that because the viewfinder at the top, in this red mark, will always give us direct reading when we lean this part of the measuring tape against the wall. It is that easy. We stretch the tape, we take it from one corner, and in the other corner we support the back of the measuring tape. We just have to read, and see where we have the reference of the red line to know what the exact measurement of the interior is. Now let's see how we take measurements with the tri-square. Tri-square is made up of a part called the blade and another part called the tongue. In this tri-square, one piece is riveted with another, which means that it is delicate. Do not drop it, do not hit it, to avoid that between the blade and the tongue we can have play. If your tri-square is like this, you will be able to make strokes on a board at 90 degrees, always perpendicular to the edge. But if it is like this and it has this cut on the tongue, you will also be able to make traces at 45 degrees, as long as you place the tongue on the edge of the board. Two lines completely parallel at 45 degrees. These are the different squares that you can find. You have them with the blade longer or shorter. You will use each one depending on the work you are going to do. A long blade offers many guarantees for long traces. When the blade is short, you can trace starting from one side of the board, then from the other. This type of tri-square is resistant. The wooden ones, however, since they are riveted, they will offer us dilatations with changes in temperature, and it is easier for us to get gaps and distort the measurement that we are going to do. You can check with the squares on the edge of a board or the inside of a closet like the one we saw in the part of the measurement with the measuring tape. Finally, I am going to show you this type of square. It is much more resistant to blows because it is all made in one piece, with which there are no rivets that can present gaps, and also presents us with a series of drills in the measurement so that we can directly draw. We put the square on the edge of the board, we introduce the pencil where we want to measure it. We make a trace throughout its route very easily. Finally, I am going to show you a little trick so that you can practice. We take the pencil with these two fingers, put the fingertip on the edge of the board, and make a line parallel to the edge. A free but very practical exercise. See you soon.